You know, I got to admit, I knew there would be something somewhere along the way that I would say that I would look back on and say, man, I wish I hadn't said that.
Really?
Yeah, and it happened right out of the gate.
I feel terrible that you have regrets.
Right out of the gate.
You can't have regrets. There are no regrets.
Maybe I didn't understand exactly what a DM meant. Maybe I didn't understand.
Yeah, but you said it with such conviction.
Well, you know,
such
you got
desire.
You got to say it confidently.
You're like, this is what I want.
Upon further review.
You're like, kids, you got to know what you want in life.
Well, I know.
And what I want is somebody in my DMs.
Goals.
It's too early for this. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, it's August 27th, day 2 of the Chuck and Bo Show. Glad you're here. And we're 2 days away from a football game.
We're back for a second day and 2 days away from a game.
They asked us back. That's been weird for me. I mean, Tuesday. And I got to get my suitcase packed. I got to go to Little Rock tomorrow.
Yeah, this is taking quite a bit of your attention. We need you to go ahead and get prepared for the game. You got the Sam Pitman show on
Sam
a Tuesday
Pitman tonight.
Night.
Exactly right, at the Catfish Show.
This Thursday stuff just kind of throws everybody off.
Here's when we're going to be happy. Saturday. Friday's going to be a rough day. But Saturday we're going to be happy because we're going to be able to sit back and watch everybody else play, and there's not going to be any pressure. And
we got some good games this week.
We do have good games this week.
Clemson, Georgia, Miami, Florida, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, USC, and LSU.
I'm actually going to pull for LSU.
Do you think LSU fans will make it to the game against USC because they're playing in Vegas? They'll make it on no sleep.
You know, you hear about LSU fans going to, whether it be Omaha in baseball or a bowl game when they're good, and how they run out of beer. You know, wherever they go, there's always a problem keeping enough beer. Vegas is one place where I don't think they're going to run out of beer.
What an environment that'll be.
Oh,
LSU fans in Vegas, and
it's about a 4-hour drive from LA too. I'm sure there'll be throngs of USC fans.
Maybe we'll hear from Tiger Bait in the aftermath of that. We're waiting for his appearance.
Tiger Bait going?
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
I mean, if he's out of jail.
As you might imagine, we have an action-packed program planned for you today. Dari Noka of the SEC Network is going to join us in mere moments, right around 6:15. Dari Noka of the Southeastern Conference Network, the SEC Network. Oklahoma, Texas coming into the league is going to look a lot different. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, Ethan Westerman of Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. The future of Razorback games at War Memorial Stadium. Every time the Razorbacks play there, it's been coming up, Bo. When I started sports rap in the 90s, on a slow day, a slow day, you could always bring it up and start a fire.
I mean, for the 12 years I did a show that ended in 2019, we talked about. It's been 5 years since I've gotten to talk about this. Mm-hmm. Guess what? I still have an opinion on it, and guess what it is? Why are we doing this?
I sort of gathered that might be
there's 40,000 tickets sold in a 50,000 seat stadium that has one game a year that the Razorbacks are involved in.
Are we coming to an end? Though many people feel like that maybe this is the time. Next year will be the time when the Razorbacks discontinue playing games in Little Rock.
And I don't mean the problem with this conversation is people get offended about where they live. It has nothing to do with the people of Little Rock. It has nothing to do with that.
People do take it personally.
I understand, but I don't know what to tell you about that. It would be like the question for me has always been, is it good or bad for the program? Okay. So let's forget the conversation about the stadium for a second and ask, do you need NIL dollars? Totally different topic for your program. Well, yeah, we do. Right. Because it's better for your program, right? Okay. Is it better to play games on your campus or somewhere else? Which is better for the program? And until somebody can tell me that it's better for the program to play games in that stadium, I'm going to be of the opinion they don't need to play games there.
There was a time when it was good for them to play games there. And let me say this.
That's a long time ago, by the way.
Well, as someone who grew up right about the halfway point, I went to a lot of games in Little Rock, a lot of games in Fayetteville. It was a far different era back then. No lights at Razorback Stadium, no I-49. It was a much different prospect. If you go back to the history, I mean, the reason they played in Little Rock is because before things changed, before our economy shifted, the Eastern Arkansas farmers were the ones who funded a lot of the things that went on up here. And the idea was that you played night games in Little Rock. They could harvest in the morning, they could come to the game in the evening, and they could be back for church on Sunday morning. Worked great for years. I've got a lot of wonderful memories growing up of games in Little Rock. I never have a bad time when I go to Little Rock. I like going to Little Rock. It's fun.
I enjoy it.
But if I'm honest, the memories that I have of games in Little Rock are all from 15, 20, 30 years ago. It's been a long time since Arkansas beat Texas in 1979. It's been even longer since they beat them in the rain in 1971. And you go through so many games that were played in that stadium. For the longest time, that was the greater seating capacity. That's where you made your money. And Little Rock made money off the games in that city.
Troy has texted in
but
that the Salt Bowl might have a higher attendance.
It will.
Than the UAB Arkansas game.
I suspect if you were to actually count heads, really count heads.
Like actual fans in the stands, not concession workers, security guards, parking attendants.
Count the people in the bleachers. There may be more for the Benton Bryant game than there will be for the Razorback game, which is just hard for me to believe. I know the Salt Bowl is a big part of what they do in Central Arkansas, but, I mean, that makes your point.
That's what we've gotten to. And we'll get into this as the show progresses and the days come around this game. Also, by the way, you know what today is?
What is that?
It's National Just Because Day.
All right.
So maybe that's a good time to talk about it.
All right.
Why are games being played at War Memorial Stadium? Just because. You know what just because means? Every day we all do things that are expected or required of us, Chuck. Sometimes we even do things because we have to do them. That would be Thursday. We don't know why. Well, on this occasion, this does not apply because this day is a chance to do something without any rhyme or reason. I know some people that live their life like that.
Yeah, well, you're working with one of them.
It's National Just Because Day. So however you woke up feeling this morning, things just got better. Just because. You can just do whatever you want.
We're going to open up the phone lines in just a bit. 877-377-6963. You can text, as Troy has already done in Charleston. You can listen at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And you can follow us on social media at Chuck and Bo Show. As always, we're presented by First Security Bank, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, Fayetteville Auto Parts.
Streaming live on YouTube.
Streaming
where
live
things that you're not YouTube. Supposed to see.
That's right.
Happen.
See all the behind the scenes.
You see it.
Well, Bart is a show in and of himself.
We gave the controls to Bart, by the way. Yesterday, Chuck and I were.
He's pulling his hair out right now.
Yeah, and so now it's Bart over there.
Don't worry about it.
Camera.
Don't worry about it.
We got 4 cameras in here. We got one of them actually working.
I see a red light on that one.
But there is a hostage camera that's just going to be flipped around and pointed at Bart. But he's in a shipping container.
He's behind
we got to get him out of the shipping container first. Dari Noka's coming up next. What time is it?
It's 6:11.
Oh, it's 6:11 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show. 2 bald white guys with a face for radio.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
We good?
Can you turn check. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sound like a real operation now.
There we go. All right.
Tommy just trying to keep us on our toes.
Ty, do you have Dari's number to call him?
No.
Let me look at my
hold on.
phone.
Dari's gonna
Remember if I do or
call
not.
us.
Dari's calling
I
us.
think
Never
so.
mind.
Hang on, let me check.
Use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPascal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Pascal price check. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Yeah, he's supposed to call us.
Fayetteville Auto Parts
I'll be
has
watching.
been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brand, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Parts.
The Chuck and Bo
Hey,
Show.
Dory, how are you this morning?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
2 minutes till we come back. Break.
People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Brew Pig Suey is back. The Arkansas Razorbacks Outdoor Beer Festival is almost here and will be held prior to the Razorback football game on September 14th versus UAB. The festival will be held on the west lawn of Bud Walton Arena from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and features 25-plus breweries, a live DJ, local food trucks, and more. Tickets start at just $50 and include a limited edition tasting cup, unlimited pours, and more, with all proceeds from the event benefiting Arkansas Edge NIL. Visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com for more information.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Laborn Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Laborn Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Laborn Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Laborn, LOVVORN lumber.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. 2 bald white guys with a face for radio. Here is Chuck and Bo.
6:30 on Thursday night in the Rock, Razorbacks and UAPB. Oh, I wish I was born with Dari Noka's pipes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got pipes.
Hair, looks, all
the
that
whole
stuff.
deal. No, you're right.
I mean,
I wish I was Dari Noka.
So that's why we're on the radio.
Yeah.
And Dari is on TV. Dari, you there?
Yeah. I'm just chuckling at your guys' load of garbage, but that's okay. I appreciate listening.
Hey, it's early, man. It's early. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, guys. It's good to talk to you. And Chuck, it's good to talk to you. But man, Bo, you and I go back so long. I'm glad to hear you back on the radio, man. I know the people in that state are too. So congrats to you guys for getting this thing up and running, man. This is great.
I'm going to be intimate for a second. Dari, here's how well Dari and I know each other. Dari used to change at SEC Media Days for TV in my hotel room.
Wow.
I mean, I was
That's
no
as
longer
close as 2 guys.
I was
can
no
be.
longer there, but he's like, hey, I know you're leaving this morning and I got to change later. Can you just maybe leave your room key? I'm like, wow, we are really good friends, buddy.
You're sliding him your
You
room
just-
key.
Dari, as an OU guy, as an OU alum, what's it gonna be like for Boomer Sooner entering this league. You know the league. Well, how many years have you been at the SEC network now?
Well, we just had our 10-year anniversary, man. So there you go, all 10.
10. So yeah, you've been there the whole time. So it's been a decade. Obviously, you know this league really well, inside and out. Every year you see it. You know the talk about how well or how difficult this league is. How would you describe what OU is in for?
Dose of reality. I mean, and I'll tell my friends, family, and all of Sooner Nation that. I mean, that's, they're immensely talented and they're deep and they recruit really well, and facilities and investments and fan support and all of that. They have every bit of that. I mean, they are an SEC program by all accounts and have been for a long time. But they've gotten to cruise through a schedule that features a majority of teams that are significantly less invested, less talented, less deep, and all of that. And then at the end of the year, you look and hey, we're 11-1, or we're 12-0, or we're maybe 10-2, and that's a disappointment, right? So now it's different, and that depth and that talent base and that recruiting, it's going to get tested every single hour of every single day. And that grind that they've never had to deal with over the course of the season. I'd say the same to Texas. Let's not start anointing them as a team that makes a trip to Atlanta or maybe wins this league until they complete that grind for the first time successfully. And I think that's what they're in for. That's I've said to all of them, like, you're going to have some 7-5s and some 8-4s, and you might even have 9-3s that before you look at 9-3 and said, oh my God, man, do we need to make a change at the top? And you're going to look at this 9-3 and say, man, that was a heck of a run, guys. Good to finish 9-3. It's a totally different ballgame now.
Those of us in Arkansas, Dari, know that Oklahoma and Texas hate one another, and it's a great rivalry. The rest of the SEC is about to find that out. Texas is getting all the hype. Texas is going to play for the SEC championship. Even Nick Saban says so. But Oklahoma's got just as proud a tradition as Texas. How's all this playing in Sooner Nation, do you think?
I think there's an understanding that OU was 6-7 2 years ago, and that they have a quarterback that has started one game in his career, and that's Jackson Arnold, obviously, and he comes in with a lot of hype, and I think he's going to be tremendous. But I do think there's an understanding. It's just funny how things change. 2 years ago, everybody talks about it. 3 years ago, when this announcement is made that OU and Texas are coming into the league, OU's more SEC ready than Texas is, right? Because they had a lot more success over the last decade and a half than Texas had, and they were deeper, and they were. We all thought had an established, from Bob Stoops to the handoff to Lincoln Riley and all of that, and they were more SEC ready. Well, now all of a sudden Texas is more SEC ready. And that might be the case by a little bit, but I mean, OU and Texas, that game alone often determines so much and sets the team on a certain path. Last year it didn't. OU won the game. Texas went on to the playoff, but it often does. And OU knows that they can beat Texas. They've beaten Texas far more over the last 20 to 30 years than Texas has beaten them. So, I think a couple of points. One is, it doesn't mean they're not better than Texas on a certain October and Saturday. And two, it's going to be a challenge for both of them, but I do think the majority of OU fans do understand and realize Texas might be a little bit better right now. Doesn't mean that'll be the case in October. Doesn't mean that'll be the case in November. But I think going into the season, I think most people are realistic enough to say that was a playoff team, and they've got a lot of talent, and they've crushed it in the portal, especially at skill positions. They're probably a little bit better right now.
Size up the league in general. Everyone says Georgia, and then Georgia, and then Georgia. But there are lots of other pretty good teams out there, too. I don't know that people aren't spreading dirt on Alabama maybe a little bit too quickly. Just give us your thought right now on and I know it's a general question with 16 teams, but how you see this thing sizing up.
Yeah, I honestly don't think anybody's spreading dirt on Alabama. To lose the greatest coach that ever existed in this game and still be picked, third in the league and fifth in the country, I think is pretty incredible. I think that they have huge expectations for them. I do think Georgia's at the top. I think Ole Miss goes to Atlanta for the first time ever. I'm I'm on the Lane train for sure. And obviously experience back, but again, killed it in the portal as he always does. So I like Ole Miss as my number 2, I think, in that league. I also like Missouri. I mean, they've got, by most accounts, the easiest schedule in the SEC, and I think that's a team that, as long as they didn't lose too much on defense, losing Blake Baker, their coordinator, I think that's a team that could be right there with Alabama, with Texas, kind of fighting it out for that third spot in the league.
623 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Dari Noka, SEC Network, with us. Dari, the obligatory Arkansas question coming now. What are your thoughts? I got to go on with these guys in Arkansas. I talk about the whole league, but you really want me to dig in on the Razorbacks?
No, I get it.
I'm playing.
That would be the first question.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting. I mean, I really did like Taylor Green at Boise. I'm excited to watch him in this league. Those receivers, obviously, I think all needed the experience they got a year ago. And so to have some experience there is a good thing. Defensively, they were certainly, I think, improved last year. I think there's still a long way to go on that side. What's it look like with Bobby Patrino back calling plays? Bo knows my take on Bobby, but I'm not going to go there right now. There are things that'll be interesting. I don't think we'll find anything out Thursday, but it'll be good to have live football back in the SEC. So that's good. That'll be the first team to kick, obviously. I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
I really don't. I love Sam. I want the best for Sam. I'd love to see them go 7-5 or better. I think it's going to be very difficult to do that, but I don't know. I honest to God, there's probably 3 or 4 programs in the league where I just kind of throw my hands up. I'm like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That's one of them.
The Athletic came out with a story today, which is always fun for talk radio, putting coaches in tiers. They have 2 coaches in the top tier. Can you guess who they are? One of them's in the SEC.
Yeah.
Kirby.
In the top tier nationally, they've got
so not 2 SEC coaches, just 2 coaches in the top tier of all of college football coaches. Kirby's one. Who do you think the second one is? Not in the SEC.
They're probably gonna throw Dabo.
They put Dabo in there because he's won a national championship.
Really?
I mean, we got to talk about here and now, right? Like today's game's different than he won when he won a national championship. They had Kiffin down there. I want to say tier 3. I mean, who's better right now in the SEC besides Kirby than Kiffin?
Ain't nobody. We've kind of had this conversation too, just in the office, and text chains and all that. Nobody is. He would certainly. Well, so he would be my number 2. I tell you though, I would say Stark is up there too. I think Stark now I think he's done a really, really good job at Texas. And that Saban tree is.
Isn't that crazy? They were both calling plays for Saban.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But no, to your point, man, Lane would be my 2 in that league, and it's not even close. It's not even close. And honest to God, man, I think if he had some of the recruiting resources of Kirby Smart at Georgia, he might be right where Kirby is. It's just he's doing it at a place that's tougher to do it. He's done it really well.
Yeah, that Saban tree is ridiculous. Dan Lanning at Oregon, they got a great chance to go. I mean, where are coaches going to come from now that Saban's out? Forget the national championships and all that. Where are coaches going to come from?
Where are coaches that get in trouble going to go get a job?
Yeah, where are they going to get rehabbed? Exactly. And Hugh Freeze didn't even get to go.
I know.
Well, so Lanning's Saban tree, but is he also Kirby tree? How does that work? If you come off of a branch of a tree, does that branch become a tree?
It's a great. What is that thing called? The lineage thing that what is it? What did they call that? Something 21 or whatever. Go back and
23 and me.
Trace your family.
23 and me.
We need that for college football coaches.
Awesome.
It's fantastic, man. We got to do this again soon. Thanks for hopping on with us. We'll be watching you. Have a great season.
Good to talk to you both. Hey, congrats to you guys.
Thanks, Dari. Appreciate you, man. Dari Noka, SEC Network, great dude. Great at his job. If you don't watch the SEC Network, SEC Now, which you probably do, does a great job. Dari could have been one of those Sports Center guys forever. He was really smart. They said, hey, man, you want to go to the Longhorn Network when that started? He's like, no, I think I can tell this now. The Longhorn Network's not around anymore. And then he goes to the SEC Network, and he's been there all 10 years. He's perfect for it.
He's going to be like Chris Berman with ESPN.
Yeah.
When the SEC Network has its like 40th anniversary, they're going to trot Dari out there. Everybody's going to stand and clap and all that.
I love it. It is 6:28 on the Chuck and Bo Show, 877-377-6963. Call, text, whatever. We're here, and we're just getting cranked up on a Tuesday morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations. You sure did.
Athletes love to say, hey, look good, feel good, play good. And that certainly can apply to everyday life. Meet my friend, Dr. Jeff Swetnam.
Cosmetic surgery has always been about looking better. And I think over the years, what I've figured out is if you don't feel good, it doesn't matter how you look. What vitality and wellness is all about is helping you look your best, not only look your best, but feel your best, and no matter what age you are. Some guys say getting old, you get shorter, you get fatter, you lose your sex drive. Some guys say that's just a natural thing that you're just going to have to live to and look forward to. But some guys are wrong. You don't have to do that. And if you want help with that, you come see us, Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery and the spa. We can help evaluate you, and we can show you how some guys are wrong.
So we don't have to get it wrong. All right, time to look into getting it right. Guys, log on to SwetnamCosmetic.com for a free evaluation. SwetnamCosmetic.com. Time to feel and look better.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
Wound Wrap is your #1 resource for all things diabetes. It's now available on the Hit That Line podcast network.
Usually if your diabetes is not very well controlled and you're on 3 or more medication, oral medication, or if you're on insulin and it's diabetes is still not properly controlled, then I think that's where you want to seek the assistance of endocrinologist.
Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts and find it on hitthatline.com. Wound Wrap with Dr. Doug Friesen.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
It's a stunning way to go somewhere new in the 2024 Buick Encore GX from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on the Buick Encore GX. The Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% on the 2024 Buick Encore GX. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. Here is Chuck and Bo.
Hey, what about Brett Favre showing up at the Little Rock Touchdown Club in shorts and a T-shirt?
Expect anything less?
And a ball cap. I don't know how many of
Do you know what the shirt said? Everything hurts.
Everything hurts. And the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday.
It's 54. Is that right? 54?
54, yeah. Brett Favre was the guest speaker. Now, the Little Rock Touchdown Club, when they hold their Monday events, it's a pretty big deal.
Oh,
jacket's not required, but jacket's encouraged.
It's a happening.
I think it would be fair to say. And if you're not wearing a jacket, people kind of look at you like, well, you know, it's like if you were to show up to church in shorts and a T-shirt.
Can we talk about Little Rock just for a second?
All right.
Aren't jackets suggested in general?
Well, maybe so.
I mean,
maybe so.
The difference between Northwest Arkansas and Little Rock is really more of the South, like more of what you get when you go to Oxford.
Yeah,
it really is. Anyhow, so they go
Southern aristocracy.
There you go. Very, very polite, very hospitable.
But you got to wear a jacket.
You got to wear a jacket.
But Favre shows up in like a T-shirt and shorts
and a ball cap.
And I was looking at the picture.
Probably a dip in.
Evidently, Basil found out that probably when the plane landed. That
I think Basil went to get him on the plane.
Well, so Basil shows up. He like dressed down.
Yeah.
You know, he puts on like a Razorback baseball jersey.
Right.
Of course, unbuttoned.
Right.
But
was that a Baz that's put on 50 joke?
I was just saying it was unbuttoned
on Pitman.
And so I just thought that was funny though, because I'm sure when he walked out on stage, there were those in the front row, the guys that fund the whole deal, that are wearing jackets and ties.
Well, Pitman, when he spoke, took off his tie while standing up there, which was great. Pittman, by the way, is a great entertainer in a setting like that.
He is.
And I'm sure, and Favre seemed like he was amazing. But look, he doesn't care. He doesn't care anything about anything other than like the Southern Miss, whatever that was. What was it?
Volleyball facility. Right now, he's interested in staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
I met him, Keith Jackson, several years back when Park had its 25th anniversary. Took his top contributors out to Vegas for a birthday party. Well, I got invited to go. And up on the stage, it was like Barry Switzer, Spencer Tillman, Brett Favre, Randall Cunningham, and me.
No.
Who did not belong in that picture.
Yeah.
And here's what happened.
Did you have a microphone?
Well, yes, I had a microphone.
Okay.
I was part of the program. I was not the MC.
Now, if you hadn't had a microphone.
Spencer Tillman was the MC. It was supposed to be Dan Marino.
That's awkward.
But Dan Marino canceled out, and so I was Don Strock. For the event, and met Brett Favre. And he
this is an appropriate question. How did you feel? Like sometimes that's such a lazy, lame question. You know, like you win the game. How did it feel to win the game? This is a great question, actually. How did it feel standing on that stage?
Well, I felt out of place. I felt very, very, very much out of place.
Fidgety?
Well, yeah. I mean, and I was quite nervous.
I don't think
if
I'd want to be.
remember
I don't
right.
think I'd want to be up there.
It was a very nerve-wracking night, but that was my experience with Brett Favre. Very nice to everyone there. Posed for every picture, and there were a lot of requests. And but now at the end of the night, he was done.
Paul in Fayetteville says, "Isn't Favre still facing like some welfare fraud
That's
charges?"
why I said he's trying to stay out
I mean,
of
look,
trouble.
let's not throw him in there in a category all by himself for welfare fraud. I mean, there's a few people that could fit into that bucket.
That is
So,
a pretty bad
it's
deal that
maybe
happened
a
down
broad.
there. It's a bad deal.
That's a broad thing. By the way, another question, Bo, are you still doing the hog pod? Yes, unless my contract has been canceled. But I did 2 last week, so I think we're good. We got Pitman.
I heard something the other day.
I got my Hogs Plus hat on right now.
I noticed. Well,
yeah. Hey, but we did Pitman. We had Taylor Green's coming out, I think Sunday. So yeah, we're still doing the hog pod. And actually, honestly, love our relationship with Hogs Plus, and we'll benefit from that on the show, and you'll benefit from it as a listener. Spent some time with Patrino in the offseason in the film room. Let's talk about Patrino.
Let's talk about it right now. 877-377-6963 is the number. This is actually what I wanted to dig into during the early part of the program today. Dari brought up Coach Patrino's name a moment ago. How many points is Bobby Patrino worth a game? What do you think? Is he worth a touchdown a game? Bart, what do you think?
Well, that's a great topic.
Touchdown a game? Is he worth 7 a game?
It's
not a hard question.
Yeah, it really isn't.
I think it is a hard question.
Well, it's like how many points?
Right. Like
is he worth at least 7 a game?
You would have to think, based on what we've seen in the past and his reputation as a play caller and his ability to scheme players into open space, that he's worth a touchdown a game.
What do you think, Bo? Touchdown a game? 7 a game?
I'll go with 7.
All right.
How about 7.5?
All right.
Just because Bart said 7. I'll go with 7.5 points.
I'm going to say 8 just because you guys were,
Well, I got an uneven number, so you got to choose one or the other.
We talk about the difference in being a good team and being a team that sits home at the end of the year. In Arkansas's case last year, there were 5 games that were decided by a touchdown or less. Now, I want you to listen to these numbers. Bart put these together. Arkansas last season, and he didn't have to dig real far for this one, admittedly. Arkansas ranked 69th in the country, averaged 26.6 points per ball game. 26.6 per game last year, 69th in the country in scoring. If Bobby Patrino is worth a touchdown a game, they average 33.6 points per game, which makes it a top 25 offense in the country. Last year's record would have gone from 4-8 to at least 7-5. And if you win a couple of, if you split those overtime games, you're 8-4. If you win them both, you're 9-3. So when you look at the big picture, and I realize to say one person, a play caller, is worth a touchdown a game, on the surface you say, well, yeah, he is. But, I mean, the players still have to go out there and do it. But that is the fine line.
Well, that's why you hire
somebody. That's the fine line. That's why he went out and hired him. That's somebody. Exactly right.
It's literally why C.D. Lamb just got his deal done with the Cowboys, right? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. NIL doesn't necessarily lead to results. When's the last receiver that signed a big contract that just killed it? I mean, I know they're there, but you have more misses than you have hits. But this is why you give somebody a contract. This is why you go hire somebody. This should be the expectation. So like when they replaced Kendall Briles, the expectation should be we're going to score more points than we did with Kendall. Now, the hard part is finding somebody that could do that. And I'll submit this to you. What do you think Bobby Patrino would have been like with KJ Jefferson? And before you say, oh, that'd have been great, I'm not sure KJ Jefferson is a Bobby Patrino kind of quarterback. And I don't mean that Patrino can't coach just any quarterback, but I think the load that Patrino wants a quarterback to carry is not necessarily something that would have been a fit for KJ. KJ's a great fit for Gus.
I agree.
Kendall did a great job. Browse did an incredible job with KJ. The key, I think, this year for Patrino is he went out and he was able to get his quarterback, the guy he wanted to work with, which is no small feat. Let me take a call real quick. Michael in Dallas, what's happening? Welcome to the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys.
I just caught up to you. I listened to yesterday. I enjoyed Chuck's run to Best Buy. But anyway, I kind of want to build off a little bit about what y'all were talking about. I used to play for Arkansas. Actually, 85, 86, 87, and 88. We were the most successful 4-year run ever for a Razorback football team. Well, I met Chuck and Bo. Bo, I was called in when we fired, when Jeff Long fired Bobby. I was a pro Bobby backer, and I know you and Clay that day were against me on that deal. But let me give you my 5 keys that are going to make this season better than what people are.
Let me get a pen out.
Anyway.
5?
Especially the ones that wanted Coach Pitman gone. They're just, it's like they're against us. I don't know what it is, but number 1 is Bobby Patrino. And y'all remember we started that A&M series down there. We won the first 3 games when we played A&M. One year we were down 17 at the half.
All right. Well, hey, we got to do a point every 10 seconds, or we're not going to have time for 5.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying the next week we can do the same thing at Vanderbilt. The closest the team has, that's another thing. When I moved back to Arkansas, we lived together in a dorm back then. We all stayed together. We ate together. We did everything together. I didn't see a closeness with the Razorback team, especially during the Morris years, where we fought for one another. And, and that's the thing that made us special, I think, and gave us the success that we had. They didn't have that. And I had some ideas, and I talked to Coach Pitman about build team unity. But anyway, Green, I think is going to have a lot of Mac Jones ability with him. He's got a sidearm release. Some of his mechanics are a little bit off, but he can run the football. I think we're better there. The offensive line, Coach Pitman's a high-paid GA. Been working with the offensive line now. He hadn't before. He's down there every day working with them. So that alone, and we've got new offensive players, like y'all say. I just think there's a lot of positives, and I think Coach Patrino will give us an opportunity to score, and that defense that played so well last year kept us in those games and eventually gave us around the Auburn and the Mississippi.
Right, but they were really good.
We can do it now offensively.
Michael, we appreciate the call. We got to hit a break. 877-377-6963. Love the positive energy, though. And those are reasons to be excited. We'll see what happens beginning 2 days on Thursday night in Little Rock. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brand, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend it to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield? I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one. You should call Mr. Autoglass on Towson Avenue. I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield. Technology? Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant. Well, the folks over at Mr. Autoglass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call. What's that number? 782-4441. Okay, I'll give Mr. Autoglass a call. 782-4441.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber, 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com. People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
I had dinner with the AI voice guy last night.
Yeah.
He did not have much to say.
Yeah.
Welcome in. It's 6:51 on the Chuck and Bo Show. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank. You know, it's more than just banking when it comes to First Security. I mean, they got all the things you need to bank better, but it's way more than that. They're all in on local support and convenient locations. Friendly local banking. You can bank better. Check them out online at fsbank.com. Bank better at First Security Bank, member FDIC. I think people that was a great call from Michael. I felt like he had a lot to say. We didn't have as much time as maybe we would have liked to, but we are starting to hear, and this is natural, as we get closer to the first game, Chuck, people are finding reasons to be positive. And I would say just make it last as long as possible. Like you might, if you find a reason to think things are going to be different, live in that reason until that changes. Last year, people get stuck in what happened last year, but things happened in the off season. So let's react to those things and see what ends up happening with those things.
Well, you know, I think everyone's in agreement that the struggles offensively last year had a lot to do with the fact that the team didn't win enough games. And we just ran through the numbers. a few moments ago, and you see what the difference just one touchdown a ball game means. When you hear coaches and you hear people like us talk about the 4, 5, 6 plays, it does become redundant. And when a coach says, we're close, fans say, I don't care about being close. I want to get there. And everybody understands that. But there is such a fine line. I was looking at the text line. Is Patrino worth a touchdown a game? Pretty much unanimous. Everybody feels that he would be. And again, if you score one more touchdown per game, and it's not simple. I mean, this is not backyard football. But if you score one more touchdown a game, you're probably wearing shorts on New Year's Day last year, which I think is the sign of a good
Yeah, that's still playoff is the way to go.
Right.
But
if you
for
can't make the
everybody, if you're
playoff,
going to make a bowl game, you don't want to go
right.
to Birmingham. You'd rather
No.
go to like the Outback Bowl. And look, when you ask people about Patrino right now, a lot of times people will ask the question this way: how many more wins is Patrino worth? So what happened with this little bit of research that Bart did, as you pointed out, not very much, because you can't do a whole lot when you get here at 5:45 and the show starts at 6.
Last one here.
But anyhow, most people will talk about how many games he's worth. Well, when you add a touchdown a game, he becomes worth how many more wins? Potentially 2 to 4?
Well,
That's-
maybe
yeah, that's
5.
right. That's
maybe
right.
5.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
So if you ask people, they will routinely tell you, and I know you have around town, or they'll ask you, how many more wins is Patrino worth? How many more wins? How many wins is Bobby Patrino worth? I mean, nobody said less than 3 to me. Now, maybe they just overvalue Patrino, but when you start bringing it back down to, well, how many more points a game? And if you can score a touchdown more, if you can average a touchdown more a game, then that actually leads to 2 to 5 more wins.
Well, the flip side to that is, though, you got to be as good defensively as you were last year. Got to be as good because, you don't know necessarily that you're going to give up the same number of points that you gave up a year ago.
But 69th nationally last season in scoring average, I wouldn't expect them to be there this year.
I would be very shocked.
Right.
I
But you're
would be
right about
very shocked.
you're right about the defense, but they also got a lot of guys back on
They
defense.
do. Well, absolutely. And I have full confidence that this is going to be a decent defense. I'm not saying they're going to be the best in the SEC and they're going to hold guys below 20 points. I don't necessarily believe that. But I think it's going to be a good enough defense that you can go to a bowl game with at the end of the year.
Hey, if you're listening and about to get out of your vehicle, or you're maybe catching us on the radio, download the Hit That Line Now app or go to hitthatline.com. You can hear the Chuck and Bo show anywhere. Sam Pitman not naming season-long captains. They're going to go game by game. We'll get into this a little bit. The War Memorial Stadium conversation. Should Arkansas even play another game there? Why are we still doing this? All this coming up, and where Sam Pitman is ranked as a coach by The Athletic on the Chuck and Bo Show.
High school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good, like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 2 days.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, LOVVORN lumber.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good, like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
In 1971, I was 6 years old. We beat the Longhorns when they rolled in to Little Rock, Arkansas in their white Cadillacs and their orange suits and cowboy hats. We beat them 41-7. Moments in time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this? Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. Why Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. And Fayetteville Auto Park. Here is Chuck and Bo.
All right, hour 2 of the Chuck and Bo Show. Glad you're here. It is 7:03 on a Tuesday morning, game week. It feels a little bit more like game week literally every minute for me right now, because I think about all the things that I've got to do, we've got to do, probably those of you listening still have to do before the game on Thursday night. And my gosh, it's Tuesday morning, and I'm already thinking, man, I'm running behind.
Well, you got the Sam Pitman show tonight.
Hey, as a matter of fact, we do. Catfish Hole tonight. Marion Harris.
Tuesday.
Nico DeValier will be there tonight. And lots of other people, too. It's always a full house.
Do those players always enjoy coming?
I think they do.
They seem like they
I actually think they do, because first off, they feel the love, which I don't care if they've lost 50-0 or won 50-0. They're going to be loved when they walk in there. Same for the coach. And
you eat the same thing every time?
I get mine to go. Here's the deal. If I'm feeling fat, I get grilled. If I'm feeling thin, I go fried. They always ask. They always ask every show, you going to go grilled or fried?
Is Chuck feeling bloated tonight, or is he okay?
Feeling a little puffy. I think I'm going to go grilled tonight.
Yeah.
Or, I was good.
So what's game week? Like opening game week, Chuck like?
I went grilled last week. I'm going to go fried tonight. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I like that right now.
I do, yeah. Well, as I was talking about it, I'm thinking, man, that fried stuff's really good. It's a whole lot better than the grill.
The green
and the grill's good.
The relish, the relish is the best stuff there.
It is good.
I can eat it I could eat that.
Just eat it right
Hush
out of the bowl.
puppies, that. Just keep that coming.
Well, if you were not with us in the first hour, I'm just going to tell you missed a lot. And we're glad you're here for the 7 o'clock hour. 877-377-6963 is the number that'll get you into the program. You can call, you can text, you can listen to us, hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. You can follow us on social media at Chuck and Bo Show.
We're going to talk about Little Rock coming up. And look, we can talk about it now. I don't think it really goes away. It's sort of asinine to me that Arkansas continues to do things that aren't good for the program. Like it's hard to be a fan and say, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then you continue to want to have things happen that aren't good for the program. And this has nothing to do with Little Rock as a city, with the people of Little Rock. Like Arkansas should be together, should be on the same page. The more we're not, the more we lose, and all kinds of things. But until somebody can convince me that a game being played at War Memorial Stadium as a home game is good for the program, then I'm going to continue to say it's asinine that you would put yourself in that position.
That's a good word, asinine. That's a good talk show words, asinine.
Really?
No, you're right, though.
Is it a $5 word?
It's a $5 word.
Is plethora in that category? Plethora is another one. Yeah.
Moxie's a good word.
Yeah.
Moxie's another good word. No, but look, your point's well made. There's no doubt about it. And here's the thing that I would ask. Those of you who have friends or family outside the state who may be fans of another team and Razorback highlights come on and they're playing in Little Rock, don't you feel obligated to say
you have to qualify?
That's not our normal stadium. That's not where we usually play.
You're going to turn on the TV if you don't go to the game, and most people aren't. Most people don't go to most games because they only get 70,000 people at Razorback Stadium. But there's 40,000 tickets or whatever. So that's not even a sellout. And you're going to be watching this on a Thursday night. and it's going to be a not so great looking stadium. I'm sorry, it's just true. And it's going to be done by the 4th tier broadcast team at ESPNU.
They probably never heard of us.
It's
but I've
going
never
to
heard
feel so small time.
I know.
It just is.
I know.
And it's like there's just no benefit to it. I understand feelings. Oh, it's nice. I mean, it'd be nice if they'd come play in your neighborhood. That'd be cool. I mean, who would love that? We got ice cream trucks, snow cones, we got football happening in the street. Awesome. You had a great time. Not great for the program. It's just not. By the way, we were talking about Patrino and what kind of difference he makes. And is he worth 7 or 8 points a game? And if he is, it's worth 2 to 5 wins a year based on last season. We had a texter, Dave, texted in and said, I think Arkansas is going to have a better defense because you said the defense has to play just as well. He thinks they'll have a better defense because Patrino will be better on offense, ball possession, picking up some first downs. Maybe the defense isn't on the field as long. Good point.
I think it's a good point, and I think that goes to the offensive line. And we've talked about this before. I've said it till I'm blue in the face. If you're good up front on the offensive side, you control the tempo of the game. You control so many aspects of the ball game that go beyond just what you see when the ball's snapped to the quarterback, the rhythm of the game. And every game has its own rhythm. If you dominate up front, or even if you're just good up front, you got a chance to control the tempo of the game, and that helps your defense. It's also nice when you score.
I was just having a moment of self-reflection as you were talking and realizing that I got to go to Cabot for a high school football game on Friday night.
Yeah.
My son and all his teammates are playing Cabot.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to walk up to me and they're going to give me the business on this Little Rock thing.
See, here's the thing though, and I believe this.
Because people sometimes can't separate the issue from whatever the feelings are. Some people.
That number is decreasing every year. If we were to bring this up 20 years ago, I can tell you from having, been in that position, and you can too, it was immediately a provincial argument. It was immediately Little Rock versus Northwest Arkansas. And it was as though you were saying, we're better than you. That's how the people in Central Arkansas took it. You're saying you're better than us.
Right.
Those numbers have diminished. There are certainly those in Central Arkansas who believe the game should stay in War Memorial Stadium because it's the capital city, pure and simple. And they've always done it this way. On Just Because Day, just because.
It is National Just Because Day if you're just joining us.
It is National Just Because Day. And for some people, you should continue to play there just because. But even those who are staunchly pro-Little Rock, pro-Central Arkansas, they all see, all right, a good number of them, most of them, see what you said a moment ago. Yes, it is nice. I'm sure for people in Little Rock, it's nice to drive 20 minutes to the house. I'm sure of that.
I'm sure we won't get a call on this, but if you have a different opinion on this, I would like to hear it. I think I'd like to hear it. If you think that you have a convincing argument.
So far, the text line is 100% pro Bo.
877. Well, it's not pro Bo. It's just the issue is like pretty obvious. It should be 877-377-6963. It's 7-11 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Ethan Westerman's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. He covered Sam Pittman's press conference for the Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. This always comes up at the coach's press conference, as though he's the guy that's going to be pulling the trigger. He's the one that's going to decide how all this is going to go. But of course, Coach Pitman was asked about it yesterday.
I mean, it just puts the coach as an athletic director in such a weird position. You don't want to alienate any of your fans, and some people are going to be offended, and you don't really have time. It's just like the whole Saracen, Oakland thing, NIL money. There's more to the story. It's not one issue on whether you should have a raffle. There's got to be laws passed and all kinds of things that have to happen. It's not just one thing.
Morgan texts in from Fort Smith. Who else does this? Nobody.
No, nobody. Here's David and Cersei. David, what do you have for us on the Chuck and Bo Show?
Listen, concerning the game in Little Rock, and I live in Central Arkansas. Of course, I don't go to as many games as I used to. I'm almost 70 years old. I have other stuff I have to do. But I don't know about the analytics of how it affects the players, the travel.
This is not something you need analytics for. It's too obvious. Like, analytics need to be used for things that are hard to figure out.
Yes. I want what's best for the program because I'm a Razorback fan. Have been all my life.
Simple, right?
If you cannot sell out this football game, and they have to scramble to try to basically give tickets away to get people to come there, stop this fiasco. Stop it now.
I'll tell you another one, David. I'll give you another one.
Get back to faith.
You were supposed to take the other side of this argument. You didn't get the pre-show notes, I guess. But the other side, like here's another thing. It doesn't matter if they are sold out and there's a line to get in. It's not good for the program. It's just not. Like, playing games off campus, there are so many negatives and no positives to it. It's just like they got to get on a bus and drive down there and drive back instead of playing that game on campus, featuring your campus, having recruits potentially. You can't have.
It's not conducive to a winning season. Arkansas doesn't play. They play one home game.
We're talking about
NIL
one
game
money
on campus.
We're talking about NIL
October.
money. How much money do you lose playing a game in Little Rock versus playing a game
I don't disagree
in your own
with
stadium?
that at all.
Oh, we need money. Let's go play in Little Rock. Let's drive a bus for a home game away, play off our campus, lose some money, and then ask for money afterwards.
I think for a lot
hand
of
out the
people, too.
offering plate for playing in Little Rock. Pass a plate around. Just help pay for the trip down here. Everybody get their per diem money. What are we doing? Sorry, I've had a little coffee this morning.
I understand. 877-377-6963.
You want to take one more?
Yeah, let's take one more.
All right. Patrick, you're on the Chuck and Bo show. Go ahead.
All right. I just want to call in and say, how you guys are being totally, or at least people who typically advocate for or against this game in Little Rock are totally disingenuous. Because each year when we go down to Dallas-Fort Worth to play the game in A&M, it's typically the same people who whine and complain about playing this one game in Little Rock that are all for going down to Dallas and basically giving away a home game, giving away the revenue and everything else to Texas.
No, they're not. They're making a lot of money playing that game, and it's a way better atmosphere, and it looks awesome. And you tell recruits that you're playing a game a year in an NFL stadium. I'm not saying you're wrong in terms of you could argue they should play that game at home too, but you're telling me playing at War Memorial Stadium is the same thing as playing at Cowboy Stadium?
If I'm allowed to speak.
Well, I mean, we put you on the air, so that was an indication you can speak.
The floor is yours.
You guys are being totally disingenuous. You're perfectly willing to give away a home game for the Razorbacks to go 3 hours, 5 hours, however long it is, down to Texas, versus sharing at least one game with the rest of the state here in Arkansas.
Well, here's the thing.
Dress it up any kind of way you want, but it's the same. That's why people are tuning you guys out.
Dude, how is it good for the program?
Wait, let me say this, Patrick.
How?
Wait. Let's don't even go there. Patrick, most of the people are tired of going to Dallas too. I mean, that's the truth.
But they're not the same thing.
No, they're not the same thing. But most of the people that I know are tired of that game as well.
It's played out.
Yes, all of this has moved beyond its usefulness. I get what you're saying, Patrick, and I hear where you're coming from, but you can't have games where you sell 40,000 tickets and be happy with that. You just can't do it. In the modern era, the arms race in college football, the idea that you're going to consider yourself to be a big-time program and play a game in a stadium with max 40,000 people. Guys, I've said all my life, if Arkansas and Arkansas State were to play one another, you could sell tickets for $100 a game. I don't know if they'll fill it up. I don't know if it'll be full next year. 877-377-6963. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978. Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands, Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brand, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. Here is Chuck and Bo.
22 minutes after the hour. Is that better than 7:22? Does that fit?
I think it sounds more official. 22 minutes past the hour.
Lane is in Cave City. What you got, Lane?
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Good morning.
Great.
So I completely agree with y'all. I think that we need to get out of Little Rock But here's my question, and I was hoping y'all could answer it. If when football does leave Little Rock, does that mean baseball and basketball will leave Dickey Stevens and Simmons Banks shortly after y'all?
Well, I would ask a similar question, and I don't think it's as impactful because you play a lot more games in both of those sports. But I would ask a similar question to answer that one, which is it good for the program? Like when you have choices for your program and you choose to make decisions that aren't good for your program, like I don't care, like the feelings we all have about whatever, great. But the issue is in a situation where we sit around and we talk about NIL and we're behind on this and we're behind on that, then we make choices that put ourselves in a worse spot. Like that just doesn't make sense.
Well, I agree in football.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that in football, but I agree with what the caller said. And I think he was implying I don't want to see basketball or baseball go away from Central Arkansas. I don't either. Now, I do think.
But like why? Like what's the reason to do it?
First off, I think the baseball game, I'll start there, grows the sport.
Okay.
I mean, we're not even 20 years removed from high school baseball in Arkansas being
I love that point.
Good.
Love that point.
Dave Van Horn's been the best steward of the game that a Razorback coach could be in terms of the game. In terms of the basketball game, it is a different atmosphere. Little Rock is a great basketball city. It's a great arena.
Another great point.
It looks good on television. I think when the Razorbacks play basketball down there, this has been my experience. It is truly an Arkansas celebration of the Razorbacks. It is no longer that way at War Memorial Stadium. It's just not that way. I wish it was. I remember a time when it was. But it's still that way in basketball, and it's certainly that way in baseball. I think it'd be a mistake to leave in those sports.
Brian in Fayetteville, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the radio world again. Hey, I look at it from this perspective. You know, what is the impact and the combination of Bobby's play calling plus a better O-line plus just play action? Play action has been lost since the days of when Enos was actually successful at it when he was here before and making, you know, basically taking a Brandon Allen and an Austin Allen, using play action. The SEC wasn't used to it that much back then. And really what's happened now is RPO has taken over so much. Play action is going to be a different influence. Bryles and Enos were both so predictable. You took a bad O-line and made it look worse with Enos' play calling. And we put the defense on the field with 3 and outs all the time. So we're talking about Bobby's got an impact of an extra 7 points. I think it goes beyond that. You start adding all that together, and that's why I'm much more positive about this season. And that was before I even started to recognize just how much of an improvement in the defensive line it looks like we've got.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks. But we're mixing matching topics a little bit. If you just hopped on along with why are we playing games in Little Rock as a conversation, we've talked about the impact Patrino can have on the offense. And if it's 7 or 8 points more a game, that could lead to 2-5 wins more a season, dating back to last season. By the way, just a quick, I didn't think Browse did a bad job here at all. Like I know some
Browse
people
did a good job.
The offensive
He did a
coordinator
good job with
typically
KJ.
it's the most criticized coaching position besides the head coach. I thought Browse did a great job at Arkansas overall. Ryan in Hot Springs, you're on with Chuck and Bo.
Hey guys, so I've always been kind of a proponent that I've never thought we should be playing every year in Little Rock, but also I was hearing y'all complain about we're not selling it out, not put we're only putting 40,000 in there, but look at the products that have been put on the field when they come to Little Rock. It has been not good either. Or when they split games in Little Rock, it's been hotter than you know what.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be Thursday, which I'm going to.
Yeah, you're right. That's not actually just to interject, that doesn't even matter. Like I shouldn't even have brought up the fact that there's only 40,000 because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if there's standing room only and you can't get in the stadium. But I mean, I guess it is sort of a factor, but like that could be something to say, oh, it's a celebration, like Chuck was referring to basketball. But it's just so detrimental and such a disadvantage for the program, financially, recruiting, how you look on television, all negatives. No reason to play there.
The other thing too, though, is y'all were talking about games though that y'all wouldn't sell out in Fayetteville either, though.
No, it would not sell out in Fayetteville.
You know what? You know what though? When you put the stadium, like the one that was built, with maybe the 20,000s in mind, that like it looks a little better. You look your campus, not a little, a lot. Like this isn't even like again. To me, we can all talk about whatever and we can go circles, but like the question is it good? Is it beneficial? Is it helpful for the program, or is it detrimental?
Let's go to Tyler in Fayetteville. Tyler, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Well,
I think we lost Tyler.
I think that I messed it up.
Why?
Probably because I'm broadcasting live from War Memorial Stadium today. I'm kidding.
Oh, I mean, it is.
We're going to dig in on this because Pitman was like, we're going to go.
We're going to talk to Ethan in a minute.
Talk to a writer who wrote about it. Pitman was asked about it at his press conference yesterday, and Ethan was there.
Here's the thing about this issue, and those of us who've been doing this for a long time know it. From a talk radio perspective, it truly is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh,
but now here's the magnitude of the issue. For those of us who have been around this a long time, it has led to arguments at Thanksgiving dinner. It's gotten athletic directors fired. It's broken up business partnerships, and it's made enemies for life. Anybody who was in the thick of the battle when this first came up 25 years ago, if you got into it with somebody from Little Rock, they still look at you side-eyed. They still do. Now, if you've been brought into this argument, if you've been brought into it as you've grown up and you weren't around when all this discussion started or when it was really heated, when it was 50-50 and everybody just hated one another, I don't know that you really understand how deep this goes. Every time somebody comes up, they go, I can't believe we're talking about this again. But it always strikes a nerve.
Hey, but they also can't believe we're still playing there. Tyler in Fayetteville, go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate the answer, guys. Just curious on on what's kept it there for so long. I've never understood the argument. I'm 30. So
Great question.
I've seen the quality of football drop, and obviously the quality of game opponents drop as well. So appreciate the help.
Well,
thanks, Tyler.
First off, this thing goes to the highest level. I mean, if you think the governor's not going to make the ultimate decision on this, I mean, that's the way it's always been. And I think that politicians don't want to be the one to say that it ended on my watch.
It's just we keep squeezing it out, though. It's like three games, 2 games, one game. One game will play, one game will
What you want to be
Arkansas school.
What you want to be the governor of Arkansas who says the games ended in Little Rock on my watch.
I mean,
so far, there's not been one.
I'd be happy to be that person.
So
Chuck.
far, there's not been
today,
one.
I'm announcing my candidacy for governor right here on the Chuck and Bo Show. It is 7:30.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, congratulations. Made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
Athletes love to say, hey, look good, feel good, play good. And that certainly can apply to everyday life. Meet my friend, Dr. Jeff Swetnam.
Cosmetic surgery has always been about looking better. And I think over the years, what I've figured out is if you don't feel good, it doesn't matter how you look. What vitality and wellness is all about is helping you look your best, not only look your best, but feel your best, and no matter what age you are. Some guys say getting old, you get shorter, you get fatter, you lose your sex drive. Some guys say that's just a natural thing that you're just going to have to live to and look forward to. But some guys are wrong. You don't have to do that. And if you want help with that, you come see us, Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery and the spa. We can help evaluate you, and we can show you how some guys are wrong.
So we don't have to get it wrong. All right, time to look into getting it right. Guys, log on to SwetnamCosmetic.com for a free evaluation. SwetnamCosmetic.com. Time to feel and look better.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
He's big. That's what I like about our running backs. We have a couple of big ones. He's one of them. But he can make you miss. On contact, he can get you 2 or 3 more yards. Understanding the schematics of what the offensive line does, which you have to know as a quarterback, and then going back to running back, I think that did help him. But he's a really strong runner.
Catch Sam Pitman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during our long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas. At
From the
1907
years
Town Road
of
Drive in
Arkansas
Rogers.
football had to do with something about our willingness overall from the years. I think the passion overall from the years of Arkansas football had to do with something about our willingness to go play games in Little Rock. Our team is not looking at this as, well, we have.
It's the battle for the Golden Bottle pre-tailgate party. Come out and enjoy free food.
I think the passion overall from the years of Arkansas football had to do with something about our willingness to go play games in Little Rock. Our team is not looking at this as, well, we have to go play in Little Rock. We're looking at it as an opportunity to take the team on the road and have a great opening game in the great city of Little Rock. Whether I want to do that for years to come or not is irrelevant right now for this Thursday night game, but we are excited to go over there. It's on our schedule. It's where we're going to play, and we're excited to go over there, and we hope that we'll have a whole lot of fans at the game supporting our football team.
Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions
Take
and
the team on the road
1500.
and
New Suzuki
have a
GSX
great
8R.
opening
New 2024
game.
model Polaris slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Back to Save Sports Radio. Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
And the AI voice guy just killing it. 7:36 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hey, we're brought to you in part by Flyway Brewing right here in our state. They're in Northwest Arkansas and North Little Rock. They've got locations there. Great spots, great places to go hang out, eat, enjoy some beverages. But you can also get Flyway all over the state, restaurant and beyond, really. Restaurants just about everywhere, stores everywhere. Check out some of their popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, the Early Bird IPA, just to name a few. I love companies that are built right here in Arkansas. Flyway Brewing is one of those and doing a heck of a job.
I think the passion overall from the years of Arkansas football had to do with something about our willingness to go play games in Little Rock. Our team is not looking at this as, well, we have to go play in Little Rock. We're looking at it as an opportunity to take the team on the road and have a great opening game
on the road.
Sam Pitman.
You know, that's the thing that always stands out. Every coach has said that, you know, because that's basically what it is. Those comments came yesterday. Coach Pitman always has his Monday press conference during the course of the football season. Ethan Westerman was there yesterday. He covered it for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. He joins us on the line right now. Ethan, we played the cut a moment ago. You probably heard it. I got the impression that Sam Pitman didn't want any part of that Little Rock discussion yesterday.
Yeah, he definitely did not paint the rosiest picture of the future of War Memorial. You know, he didn't just absolutely, like you said, no coach is just going to go on and say they hate playing down in Little Rock, but he didn't really vouch for it either.
In terms of just kind of give us a sense of, take us inside that press conference yesterday. You go to these, we've been to them as well. The questions can vary. I mean, they'll bounce from topic to topic. I'm curious where in the chronological order of questions yesterday, where did this one fall? Was it an early question? Was it mid-press conference? How did it happen?
You know, I think that what you just mentioned was kind of Sam right off the bat in his opening remarks started talking about going down and playing in Little Rock. It got asked about again a little bit later, but he started right off the bat just wanting to make it clear. I think that the word that he used was irrelevant, you know, right now going into this week for them with a game on the schedule to, you know, argue about if they should be going down there this weekend. But he started off the bat wanting to talk about the Little Rock game. It got brought up again later just to kind of get some of his thoughts about maybe the future of it. But he acknowledged it, you know, right away.
Ethan, I know you're not necessarily on here to be in the opinion business, but you wrote a story about playing at War Memorial Stadium. Did you find anything in your research that indicates whether this is a good or bad idea?
You know, for me, it's kind of just trying to weigh the positives and the negatives of both sides because, you know, you look back on the history of playing down in Little Rock, and if you're going to play 76 years in a place, and a lot of seasons they had up to 4 games down there, you're going to have some rich history down there. It's just what comes with playing that many games. And, you know, isn't that what college football is all about? That's what makes it so great is all the tradition. But I think something Sam Pitman brought up early on yesterday was, you know, it really made sense back in the day to go down there and play whenever War Memorial Stadium might have been the superior of, you know, it was nicer than the Razorbacks home stadium in a lot of ways. So this tradition goes way back, you know, and of course people are going to have really passionate opinions on it because it's become a tradition, you know, especially we'll see it Thursday night, people walking from their homes to the game. It's become a part of like a fabric of, you know, living in Little Rock, Razorback fans being able to go to that game. But I think you get to a point now where it's really, you got to look at what's best for Arkansas right now. And that's where I think Sam Pitman has his hesitancy.
You know, it's a great point about where the stadium was, and then you build the stadium in Fayetteville and you renovate that and you get it to a really nice SEC caliber stadium. It reminds me of like airports. Like in Fayetteville, you had Drake Field, and then you build XNA, and it'd be like everybody that lives closer to Greenland being all mad that they got to go to XNA because it's a better airport. I mean, I just feel like that part of this is just what's convenient for me.
Ethan, let me ask you something. And part of the reason, frankly, that I wanted to have you on today, we wanted to have you on, is because you're an Arkansas guy and your demographic. You're not as old as we are. What do your friends say? What are your friends saying about playing in Little Rock, the guys that are your age?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. I'm from Hot Springs, Arkansas, so I grew up, you know, Little Rock game was kind of an annual tradition, so I completely understand the whole appeal for living in that area. It was so nice, just a short drive. I tell people my first memory of a Razorback football game was being late in the 2009 season for the Dennis Johnson kickoff return in Little Rock. We were running a little bit late, got to hear it from the concourse. They played Missouri State that year. I totally get like I mean, I'm not excluded from the population that I grew up with it a part of, you know, what I did. I'm from Arkansas, but I also went through the process of being a student at the university, and I can see right now how frustrating it is. Because, I mean, if you look across the country, what makes the best home field advantages? I mean, if you think of some of the best stadiums in the country, they all have a good student section in common. And whenever you're a student right now at the university and you're saying, oh, we got one game here before October and it's UAB, you don't even know how the football team is going to be by the next time that they come to Fayetteville. I think it's kind of crucial to have that home field advantage with your student section and everything early in the year whenever the team's trying to, Sam Pitman said it multiple times how important this year is for them. They can use everything they can get. And I think, a good home atmosphere, you think of the 2021 season when they beat Texas at home, that was week 3, had a great student section. And I know Arkansas was the better team than Texas that year, but you can't say the stadium didn't have a thing to do with how lopsided that night was.
I do got to ask you, or I do want to ask you one football question. Pitman made no bones yesterday about saying, hey, this is a critical year, guys. You cover a lot of coaches and been around ball all your life. I mean, you don't hear many coaches say that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where, I mean, they're even cutting off media access this season midweek to go into their practices because they're just trying to keep everything as in-house as possible. And Sam said the reasoning is that they know how important this year is. It's definitely, like I said, whenever you have 2 home games that aren't in your own stadium, it's such an important year. It's one of those deals where, you're already kind of feeling it a little bit of a disadvantage.
Ethan Westerman, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Great article. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Hey, good stuff, Ethan.
All right,
Thanks
Ethan,
for much.
thank you.
Appreciate that. 877-377-6963. You can listen to the Chuck and Bo Show on the Hit That Line Now app if you're not joining us by way of radio. Also, check it out on YouTube. Bart's not on YouTube. If you're looking for Bart, we can arrange something. Maybe you can talk to Chuck about DMs or whatever.
We need a lipstick camera on Bart. That's the deal over there.
What?
Those small lipstick cameras.
What are you talking about?
It's a camera that's in a tube that looks like it's in a lipstick tube. It's called a lipstick camera.
I'm going to pass on that.
That's what. No, you put it right there. When you watch a lot of the times when you see coordinators and things like that, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You haven't ever heard
That's
that
called,
term?
It's like a GoPro.
You haven't ever heard the term lipstick camera?
No. I mean, it sounds like
you guys are not industry.
Sounds
people.
like maybe something.
you guys are Johnny come lately.
Industry people. That's exactly.
Back when like Musburger was 25 on CBS.
You are looking live.
Yeah.
Back with that.
Heath is in Cabot. Let's take his call. Hey, Heath. Welcome to Chuck and Bo.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Hey,
you got a lipstick camera?
Listen, I don't really think anybody cares about the game. Games at War Memorial are obsolete. They don't even matter. Like, you're going to get more people travel to Fayetteville from Little Rock than Fayetteville to Little Rock.
That's right.
I wish they just stopped having the games here.
You know who it's good for? It's good for UAPB. That's who the game's good for.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, is there? I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't help the University of Arkansas. It's their home
they're
game.
Part of the U of A system, though, and they get some money out of this. And if you're going to play down there, I do think it ought to be against an in-state school, and preferably someone that's within your system. It's just my opinion.
Well, how are you going to feel if if Pine Bluff wins the game?
Well, then if Pine Bluff wins the ball game, there's bigger problems in Razorback land than playing in Little
Agreed,
Rock.
But why put yourself in a position to make it harder on yourself?
I hear what you're saying, but if you're going to play down there and you want a game against a non-Division 1A, as I still call them, opponents.
So you're saying since we're already over here and it's already bad, this is as good as we can do with that. Lemonade out of lemons. Got it.
That's what I'm saying.
I like Bo's take on this. I think they should just schedule. When's the 2005, 2006? The last time they scheduled a really Power 5 team for the opener was at USC. Like maybe
not USC.
Really good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's just really pointless.
Oh, I thought yeah. They had you got a good non-conference game this year. It's just not in Fayetteville. It's in Stillwater. Hey, Heath, thanks for the call. We got to hit the break. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 7:46 on a Tuesday morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened, and perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well, in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere. Then, next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
It's kickoff in Arkansas and the 76th anniversary of Razorback football inside historic War Memorial Stadium. Begin the holiday weekend right with tailgating, the Hog Walk, the UA and UAPB marching bands, and Razorback football's 2024 opener. Call the Hogs on Thursday night, August the 29th, at a historic in-state matchup with the UAPB Golden Lions. Kickoff set for 6:30. Get your tickets at ArkansasRazorbacks.com, and we'll see you on Thursday, August 29th, 6:30 in Little Rock.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio. Here is Chuck and Bo.
Shout out to Jesse at Mountain Home listening on one of our great radio stations, 104.3 ESPN, Arkansas. Lipstick camera. There are fake lipsticks, but guys, I don't think there is a camera that's a lipstick
Well, you're
camera.
wrong. You're wrong.
Chuck called something. He said we need to get a
wrong.
lipstick camera for Bart so we can see Bart, who's over there sort of in a shipping container in this temporary setup we have. And I said, lipstick camera? What are you talking about?
Just because you guys don't know about it, you sound like the people. Well, I don't know how they built the pyramid, so it must be aliens.
Well, tell us, Dad. Tell us about it.
I made Bart look it up. Read it, Bart.
Are you referring to the 1994 thriller?
I'm referring to the term
lipstick camera.
Read it.
Grandpa Barrett.
Read it.
Grandpa Barrett has a story for you.
1994. Don't act like
But no, that's
the
a
40s.
movie. It's a movie.
All right, read it. Read it.
You
Read
okay?
it. Read it.
Lipstick Camera, a 1994 thriller starring some people you've never heard of. An ambitious young woman wants to get into TV news. She borrows a small camera from a friend and obtains incriminating photos that two former East German spies are after.
My point made. Right. Just because you guys don't know about it doesn't mean it's not real.
Right. 94 movie references.
Well,
yeah.
That's my game.
Right.
That's
we
my
know
game.
we know one thing about 94 from around here, and that was a national championship.
My point is, it's not the obscure term you guys are making it out to be.
Oh, it is.
No, it's not.
It is. It was in a 94 movie.
Well,
that's obscure.
And a bad movie too. It's 4.1%, 4.1 out of 10.
The point is, they would not have named the movie Lipstick Camera if it was not already a term.
From 70 to like 90.
Well, so what?
Yeah.
So what? So what?
Brick phone.
Just because you guys don't know about it.
Yeah. I mean, what are we going to start talking about? Pagers and beepers next?
Well, maybe. Maybe.
It's a lipstick camera.
I'm just telling you.
I'm just telling you that if you bring that up in conversation at dinner tonight, regardless of who you're with, they're going to look at you side-eyed.
All right.
They're going to look at like, what are you talking about?
Tired of listening to you guys.
And it ain't going to be what you think.
All right.
You guys are going to be thinking two different things.
Quit acting like you're young. Quit acting like you're a young guy. Good God. All right. Before we go to a break, I want to talk to you about Pascal.
Have you seen my lipstick camera?
Yeah, whatever. Hey, they're still Arkansas owned. They're still Arkansas operated. Pascal, owned by Charlie Boyce, former Razorback. He's got a lot of former Razorbacks working at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. For all of your home service needs, schedule online anytime at gopascal.com. Professional people, professional service. Go Pascal.
Good dude. That was so nice of them to come by yesterday.
It was. They brought us a cake.
Fayetteville Auto
It was a
Park, First
good cake.
Security, Pascal, Weichert, the Griffin Company. Great cake, great people. Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Almost 8 o'clock.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
This summer at Hardee's, the BLT gets an upgrade with the new Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT hand-breaded chicken sandwich. The classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato, atop a famous charbroiled burger or signature hand-breaded chicken sandwich, all between two thick slices of toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Laborn Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Laborn Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Laborn Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorn, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine, a high this afternoon, mid to upper 90s. Later on tonight, clear to partly cloudy and overnight low in the low 70s. Wednesday, a bounty of sunshine, a high near 95. And Thursday, just a slight chance of showers and storms, middle 90s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 2 days.
Over 11,000 off on remaining 2023 GMC Sierras, or up to 7,000 off on remaining GMC Yukon XLs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. These are the largest factory discounts in years, so hurry before they're gone. Plus up to $6,500 off on in-stock 2024 GMC Sierras. Conquer the road with confidence in a GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Join Matt Jones Thursday, August 29th from 11 to 1 at Red River Credit Union in Greenpoint Shopping Center. It's the battle for the Golden Bottle pre-tailgate party. Come out and enjoy free food and games as Red River Credit Union battles United Federal Credit Union for the Golden Bottle. Whoever collects the most diapers, wipes, formula, or cash wins. All donations go to Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center here in Fort Smith. That's Thursday from 11 to 1 at Red River Credit Union in Greenpoint Shopping Center on Rogers Avenue.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
A microcosm of a piece of crap.
He looked like a what?
A microcosm of a piece of crap. That means a smaller version of crap. He's a piece of crap. I'm done.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, bro. Can you believe we're doing this?
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Logos Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco, Air, Plumbing, and Electric. And Fayetteville Auto Park. Here is Chuck and Bo.
All right, hour 3 of the Chuck and Bo Show. Glad you're here. 877-377-6963. HitThatLine.com, or you can follow us on the Hit That Line Now app.
So
Social
easy.
media
Even
at
somebody
Chuck
with a
and Bo.
lipstick camera could use
Listen, I've been validated. And I know there are more important things to talk about than this right now.
Well, it's the
but
second-
I'm right and you're wrong. No, stop. I got the floor. Stop. I've been validated. My people have come to my rescue. I knew they would. I've been validated by a real
people.
A real photojournalist. Not you two slappies. A real photojournalist. Read it.
Jason
Read it.
Carroll.
Read it.
Jason Carroll, general manager of OSU Max, Oklahoma State, Fayetteville, Springdale product, Northwest Arkansas.
Just read it.
Worked many years with them. I'm building credentials here for you on your behalf. By the way, it's the second biggest debate on the show today. The first one is, should they play games at War Memorial Stadium? The second one is a lipstick camera a real thing? We were talking about Bart not being seen over there. Chuck said, we got to get him a lipstick camera. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to leave.
You were baffled.
I was about to just walk off. A lipstick camera is a small video camera that is about the size and shape of a lipstick tube and is also known as a bullet camera.
Okay.
And now we're getting text. James Bond had a
Exactly.
lipstick camera.
Some guy's 41. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
He said he was 41 and knew what you were talking about.
Exactly.
So Chuck has been validated.
Victory.
In fairness to me, particularly, there have been a number of things come out of your mouth in the last 2 days that did lead to questions.
I understand.
Starting, and that was akin to I really wish somebody would slide into my DMs.
Well, I
So
didn't
when you
really
said-
understand
when
fully
you
what I
said-
was saying there. But on this subject, I was damn sure from the outset.
Like I just was right there, sliding into DMs. He wants a lipstick camera. What is happening, Chuck? Do we need to
I'm
talk about
just
this?
telling
Do we need
you,
a session?
This
we need
was
to schedule therapy.
Lipstick camera is an industry term. It's an industry term. It is.
Which industry are we talking about?
The photojournalism industry.
Oh, Jason and Magnolia, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing? Man, honestly, I'm from Southwest, very, very South Arkansas at the bottom. So the game in Little Rock means as much to me because I don't have to travel as far to see my team.
No, I get that. And I totally understand you saying that and feel that. My question is it good for the program?
It is good for a program because we have children down here, some Arkansas Razorback fans from that game like me. I came from a small school that have a football team, but had I had one, hey, I'd have been trying my best to get to the Razorback. Just because my dad had enough money to take me to Little Rock, like 2 hours away. So I believe in the game.
I got you. So his point. Hey, Jason, thanks for the call from Magnolia, Arkansas. Appreciate that. I get his point that, and I think historically for a lot of people, they were able to go to games in Little Rock that they might not be able to make in Northwest Arkansas. Every game's on television now, and having advantages versus disadvantages is important for any program. But I think we would all agree that Arkansas is a little bit of a disadvantaged program, just from a recruiting base, from a financial standpoint, all the things we talk about, NIL money. So to go play a game that's a home game off campus, A, costs you money, B, makes you travel, which impacts your schedule, makes it more difficult. And it's not the same as having recruits to your campus. And so the convenience of being able to go, also get where it might help, grow a fan base where you go. But that is the past. Like, if you have to go play games all over the state to acquire fans, it's not going to work for you. It's going to be a bad business model.
Well, here's the thing. If you win 4 ball games, they're going to be mad at you from Bella Vista to Lake Village. If you go 10-2, I don't care. You can live in the farthest corner of the state. And if you want to go and you got the money, you're going to go. Now, there was a time when getting to Fayetteville was a chore. When you had to make a decision. Am I going to go over 71 or am I going to drive the pig trail? It was harder to get here. It's not hard to get here now. The speed limit's 75. I mean, it's not hard to get here.
I mean, it's where the university is. It's where the school is. It's where you play games.
That's
it's
right.
the way, we're not in a position as a state to be able to do things other people don't do that make us even more at a disadvantage and expect to win games doing it.
All right. Let's go to Robert in Fort Smith. Robert, you're on the Chuck and Bo show.
Hey, guys. I'm kind of like you guys with the highway, but let's look at it like this, because I've been debating this for years with everybody.
Yep.
You go to Tennessee ball. They don't play. They used to do that nostalgia game in Memphis. You don't hear a Tennessee ball fan on their radio. It's too far to go to Neyland. Georgia fans, it's 4 hours. Some of them people drive 6, 7 hours to get to their stadium. And that it's in their school. That's where it needs to be. LSU fans, the same principle. It's getting old, that little rock stuff. You need to just get rid of it. Move on.
Well, they used to play the Alabama-Auburn game in Birmingham.
You're right. For decades.
Yeah.
And Alabama would play Ole Miss would play in Jackson. I mean, Arkansas played Ole Miss lots of times.
Like, the point is that was a thing then. And it made sense. It just doesn't make sense now.
It's long past.
Hey, thanks for the call. 877-377-6963. Did you see Hagen Smith got his debut?
I did. What do you have, 4 strikeouts?
4 strikeouts.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, high A, Winston-Salem.
He'd be the best pitcher on their staff at the big league level.
Hey, speaking of baseball, what about this dude, Danny Jansen, who played for 2 different teams in the same game?
Well, for those who don't know, Danny Jansen played did he play originally for the Blue Jays or the Rangers? And then he was traded to the other one. They were playing a game.
Blue Jays turned Red Sox catcher.
Red Sox. All right. He was playing for the Blue Jays, and they were playing the Red Sox earlier this year. And the game was suspended because of weather, to be resumed on August 26th. Well, between that game and August 26th, this guy got traded. Danny got traded from the Blue Jays to the Red Sox.
A delay of 65 days.
Right. Now, as fate would have it, he was at the plate for the Blue Jays when the game was suspended. So, traded to the Red Sox, he's a catcher. He was the catcher for the Red Sox yesterday. So when his at-bat began, he played for the Blue Jays.
Fouled it off. They had a rain delay.
When the at-bat ended, he was catching for the Red Sox.
The PA announcer for the Red Sox. Pinch hitting for Danny Jansen, Dalton Varsho. Defensive changes. Danny Jansen, now at catcher.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
That's an all-timer. That's an all-timer.
It's never happened.
Right.
It's the first time.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, getting to call that. Like, I mean, you're it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit for the call. We want to take a call here.
Yeah,
before we go to
Joe and Harrison.
Home of the Goblins.
You're on the Chuck and Bo show.
Yeah, I want to know once the NIL puts all this money into these players and they go to a place like Little Rock and get hurt and can't play for the rest of the year, how are they going to
Well,
feel?
I mean, what is getting hurt had to do with playing there?
Well, I'm just saying, if you put NIL money into a team like Arkansas and they go to an inter school game and somebody gets hurt in a career-ending or a season-ending injury, that's going to affect the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, that's true of any game played anywhere.
You play on that turf down there, though.
I mean, is it that bad?
I don't know. With the ground-up tires.
I mean, I'd like to know. I mean, they play if it's controversy here, we should stop playing all the state championship games there if it's that dangerous.
I don't think it's that dangerous.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
I don't think it's that dangerous.
I think he's maybe thinking that the UAPB game is a scrimmage game that you don't have to play. That's what he sounded like. That's not what this is. This is a regular season football game. You play the same number of games every year. Where you play and who you play, hopefully, doesn't have anything to do with if somebody gets hurt. But anytime anybody gets hurt, that's bad, whether you're putting NIL money in or not. But I'll go another step on his NIL question. Here's what's tough about one of the many things that's tough about NIL is when you do, if you donate, Bart, and I know you got stacks. When you donate your $500,000 to the University of Arkansas, hopefully we're going to get your name on something. The Bart Pullman radio booth, for example. When you donate to NIL, you don't get your name on anything. You get your name in a situation where somebody is going to come play, and they may not be here next year, and they might not play at all. They might not play well, or they might get hurt.
He's your guy. He's your guy.
What do you? I mean, you get
I don't know. You just
DMs
get the satisfaction. Maybe. You get all the updates.
Hey, buddy. Hope you have a good game.
877-377-6963. Hitthatline.com. Hit that line now. App Chuck and Bo Show. At Chuck and Bo Show on social media. Hey, before we go on, I want to talk to you about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been my partner in the real estate game really my entire adult life, from the first time I bought a home right up to the place we are right now. And what I can tell you about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is you are going to partner with the best train in the business. And if you read all of the news articles about the real estate business and what's happening here and what's happening there, you probably understand that now more than ever, you need to partner with a professionally trained real estate agent. And that's what you always get with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington, and Benton counties. And they're also in the River Valley, Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their new office in Branson, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
When we come back, great text about the miracle on Markham and what happens now. We don't have those moments anymore if we don't play games at War Memorial Stadium. We'll talk about that. And is Bobby Patrino really going to make the kind of difference Razorback fans are hoping for this fall? That's coming up on the Chuck and Bo Show. It is 8:15.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brand, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure, Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
It's the All Cylinders sales event going on right now. Rebates up to $3,000 and financing as low as 0.99% on select CF Moto side-by-sides and ATVs. With approved credit, visit cfmotousa.com. CF Moto, ride without compromise.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later.
Well, until then, visit Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
CF Moto cares about your safety, so read your owner's manual before operating and be sure to ask us about rider training.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. Here is Chuck and Bo.
All right, we're going to get back to the phones in a second. You know, when it comes to finding that perfect diamond, there's only one place to go. It's Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, hand-picked for their quality and beauty. So no matter what you're celebrating, a proposal, an anniversary, simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins. They are the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks. We're going to get into this miracle on Markham thing. And is this what needs to be resurrected or revived? And how do we make games better if we're going to play them in Little Rock? Or do we just need to stop playing them? This comes up every year as the game approaches. And Arkansas and UA Pine Bluff will kick it off at 6:30 on Thursday night in the season opener on ESPNU. 877-377-6963. The other question on the table that we're going to get to is Bobby Patrino really going to make the kind of difference that Razorback fans hope that he will? We talked earlier in the show, if Patrino can be worth 7 to 8 points a game more than last year's offense, and you go back to last year's record and all the close games they lost, which were 5 by a touchdown or less, then it stands to reason that you could get 2 to 5 more wins with Patrino calling the plays. But there is another stat about Patrino that we'll get into coming up. I want to get to this call in a second. I'm still finding my way to the right buttons here, And so it took a second. But Jared, you were on the air on the Chuck and Bo show. Go ahead.
Hey, Chuck and Bo. I know most of the talk is over Bobby and stuff, but my question to you guys, do you think that Travis Williams leaves after this season for a head coaching job for another school if Arkansas has a winning season? I'm going to just hang up and listen. Thanks for taking my call, guys. And as always, go Hogs.
Thanks, man. That's a high compliment for T-Will, who I have great respect for, mainly like not only because he's a good coach, but I love the relationship he has with his players. And if they have another great year on defense or have a great, I don't know if you would classify last year as great, but when we look at the strengths of the team last year, that was certainly one of them. You're probably not going to get a head coaching job if you don't have a winning season. But if they have a really good year on defense, any coordinator in this league that puts a couple of years like that together starts getting considered.
No doubt. And if Arkansas is good this year, it's going to be in large part because the defense is good. At least I would think so. And so I think he's going to be a head coach. The thing that you hope, I would think, is that you are able to get a good job your first time out of the gate as opposed to taking a job at a place where you really don't have a chance. It's one thing to say, all right, I'm going to go there and do something that's never been done before. Well, the reason it's not been done before is because it's virtually impossible. So you want to make sure when that head coaching job comes that you're in a spot where you've got a chance to build a career. You don't want that job to be your career ender and your only chance to be a head coach.
BE in Clarksville. When was the miracle on Markham? With lesser talented teams in Little Rock, we, Central Arkansas, will never feel those emotions again.
And I get that. And I that's the part of me that, is kind of gives me pause, when you think about actually pulling out all the games in Little Rock. But here's the thing. Imagine what it would have sounded like if you'd had the miracle on Markham in front of 72, 75,000 people, as opposed to 55,000 people. Imagine what that picture would have looked like on television, or what that sound would have been like as the plays replayed years and years later. There was a time when the biggest games and some of the most emotional victories came in that stadium. Bobby Patrino, when he was the head coach, we don't lose in the Rock, period. Houston Nutt, we don't lose in the Rock. But again, when we start talking about all these great games in Little Rock, it's 15, 20 years down the road. Think about this. Miracle on Markham 2, 2008, London Crawford. If you are 21 or 22 years old, you don't even remember that game. It's been that long. What are we, 16 years? I mean, you could be 5, 6 years old back then, not remember the game as a 21 or 22-year-old. So the point is, I think the glory years of playing games in Little Rock are if we're really honest, it's a long way back.
Well, I just go back to, those are all great points. I go back to, like, what do you mean when you ask the question, we in Central Arkansas will never feel those emotions again? Are you saying that just because something has happened in the past when it made sense, that it needs to continue to be that way so that you can enjoy it? Or would you rather your team win games? Would you rather your team put themselves in the best position they can to be as successful as possible? And if that means that they don't come play in your backyard 2.5, 3 hours from campus, then you're okay. I would think you would be okay with that. And I don't understand why you're not.
You're not going to be deprived of a memory unless you were in the stadium. I mean, if you were in the stadium, you can say, well, I remember being there when Teddy Barnes caught that pass, never experienced that again. But for most people, it's just on TV. It doesn't matter where it is.
I mean, great memories. Like, you watch it on you watch more games, most people, on TV than they do going to a game.
That's right.
I mean, you got people in our state that are fans of NFL teams all over the country, MLB teams all over the country. You don't go to those games? Hey, man, come play in Little Rock.
If we're honest, what makes it memorable is the people we're with. You can win a big game. You remember the big play, but you also remember where you were and who you were with. And for most people, you're right. It's in a living room somewhere or a sports bar.
Go live to the lipstick cam, and here's Bart. If you missed that, we'll catch you up later.
I don't know. I don't know that we need to catch anybody up on that.
Just another case of me being right. It's kind of boring.
It's great.
Kind of boring.
It
Just
is.
another case of me
It
being
is.
right.
Well, Geek Squad Best Buy is online too. Chuck, how about those headphones?
You know the thing about sports is that they are emotional for you, right? When you're a fan, when you're invested in a team, they're emotional. This is an emotional topic. It always has been.
Right.
You know, I remember when Bobby Patrino was the head coach here, and they had the video that played on the Jumbotron before the team walked out or ran out through the A. It was the whole ring the bell thing, all that. And every time it was highlights from Arkansas years past. And every time the Miracle on Markham played, every game that year, the stadium roared. And it's a core memory for Razorback fans. And I would bet
any less if it was played somewhere else.
No. That's where I'm going. Like, how many of the 72,000 people who were in the stadium one of those days were actually at War Memorial Stadium for that game? I mean,
right.
I'm sure there were a ton, but most probably watched it on TV.
Look,
and so like all I'm saying is you're going to feel things about your teams regardless of where the game is played. Like when you know Joe Adams had the punt return against Tennessee, you know, when Ronnie Wingo on the wheel route to score first against Alabama, that's as loud as I've ever heard that stadium.
Yeah.
You know, so like
Greg McElroy said it's the loudest stadium he's ever been in.
Arkansas didn't beat LSU in Little Rock that year because they were in Little Rock. The stadium didn't win the game.
That's right.
Right.
And by the way, like, that's what you're supposed to do regardless where you play. Like, you're trying to win. But the idea is, like, is it the best thing? And this is what I've tried to do is you can't take the emotion out of it. I get it. But if you can step back for a second, the issue is one thing. Does it help the football program achieve their ultimate goals, which ultimately you as a fan want? And if it doesn't, then you shouldn't play games there. And I just keep saying, if it does, tell me how. And all I hear is, well, what about our feelings? And what about my memories and how I can't get to the game? And I'm not going to get to go to games if they don't play. That doesn't have anything to do with whether they're better or worse program. And I don't know how else to tackle the issue, but that's the issue.
JT in Hot Springs says playing in Little Rock's like a couple who are in a horrible marriage but are staying together for the kids.
It's 8:30 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Athletes love to say, hey, look good, feel good, play good. And that certainly can apply to everyday life. Meet my friend, Dr. Jeff Swetnam.
Cosmetic surgery has always been about looking better. And I think over the years, what I've figured out is if you don't feel good, it doesn't matter how you look. What vitality and wellness is all about is helping you look your best, not only look your best, but feel your best, and no matter what age you are. Some guys say getting old, you get shorter, you get fatter, you lose your sex drive. Some guys say that's just a natural thing that you're just going to have to live to and look forward to. But some guys are wrong. You don't have to do that. And if you want help with that, you come see us, Swetnam Cosmetic Surgery and the spa. We can help evaluate you and we can show you how some guys are wrong.
So we don't have to get it wrong. All right, time to look into getting it right. Guys, log on to SwetnamCosmetic.com for a free evaluation. SwetnamCosmetic.com. Time to feel and look better.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield. The 40, the 30. College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas.
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Get hooked on Sharp Equipment this year. Sharp Equipment has hooked up with Eastern Oklahoma Guide Service for a free guided fishing trip with the purchase of any Whacker Noosan equipment. Along with getting a superior piece of equipment, you will get hooked up with a free guided fishing trip for the chance at a catch of a lifetime. Visit them at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call them at 479-242-1406.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas. And due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
All right, so we got some comments on the Little Rock situation. Here's a question from Steven. Wouldn't it be good for these new recruits and new team to face an away game, but with a home crowd down there? That's turning a negative into a positive, but you don't want to have another. Yeah, you don't want to have another road game that you don't have. But Pitman, that's exactly what he said. He said, we're going to look forward to going on the road and getting our guys ready to play.
The thing that I caught was that they're going to ride the bus back. I've ridden buses as a perfectly healthy guy who's not been through 60 minutes of having my brains
came up from Clarksville just last week on a Jefferson line.
But the point is I mean, sometimes we do need to talk about the participants, you know, and
the players.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, at some point,
you know, can we just be real for a second?
All right, be real with me.
Do like as a fan, and I'm just going to talk to a fan real quick. Do you have any idea? And I don't mean like you don't, but I'm just asking. Do you know what the coaches and players do when they get back from a road game? And do you know what they do the next day? Because
I do.
It is brutal, their schedule. And their bodies are beat up, and they got to be in the training room early, and then they got to watch film, and then they got to do practice, and then they got to blah, blah, all these things. The coaches have to break down all the film. They got to get ready for all the meetings, all these hours. So every time they play a night game like at LSU and they got to fly back, that's tough. But when you got to bust 2.5 hours back and then try to get ready for what's coming next, it just adds problem. It's just harder.
Here's what people don't understand. Arkansas can play a road game at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, maybe even Alabama. And you time it from the final gun to when the buses pull up at the Fred Smith Center, you're home more quickly because it takes you about the same amount of time to get to the bus and get everybody moving no matter where you play. Hour, roughly. You go to the airport, you're playing in Oxford, you get on the plane, you fly home an hour. You get on the bus in Little Rock, you got a 2.5-hour bus ride. So you're actually later. And people don't think about this. You can be later getting back to Fayetteville, busing back from Little Rock than you can flying back from Ole Miss.
For a home game.
For a home game. Where you're at, where you wear the red jersey.
Aaron from Danville. No, the stadium didn't win the game, but to blame Little Rock and War Memorial Stadium for the program being down is ridiculous, Bo. Playing games at War Memorial Stadium isn't causing the program to go down. Aaron, I never said anything remotely close to playing games in Little Rock is causing the program to go down. What I did say is it seems like not advantageous. So a problem to play games there. And if you can tell me how it is not a problem or why it is good or how it helps the program, I would love to hear that. I mean, it's just real simple. It's hard. We just gave you another example. It's harder to play home games there than it is in Fayetteville. How does that help your team?
On the day Danny Ford was fired, he said Arkansas is going to have to make a decision about where they play these football games. You can't be playing games 2 spots. I remember it's just like it was yesterday.
And you don't have to be a scientific rocket.
You do not have to be a scientific.
To understand that.
But Danny Ford brought it up then.
Greatest line
this
ever.
was 1997, and then Houston came in, who was from Little Rock, and everybody forgot about it. Everybody forgot about it. But Danny Ford said this in 1997. So we've been talking about it a while.
Well, and it's because they're playing a game there.
You're right.
I mean, it's the biggest thing about the game. It really is the biggest story about the game. Bart, you made a point about when things begin to go south in Little Rock. You just Trenton Holidays.
Trenton Holidays kickoff return for a touchdown. That year when Arkansas was out, 2006.
Well, I think I heard it most the ULM loss after Patrino was fired. And John L. Smith was the coach, and they were supposed to win a lot of games.
Well,
and I remember I was not at the game. I was watching it on television, and I just remember saying, "Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball," because they just blew a lead and lost to Louisiana Monroe. But that's when I heard from a lot of people like, why are we still playing games there? And the reality is, guys, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it always matters whether you win or lose, Chuck, but this is not the discussion for me. It's not like you're going to, I mean, that could be a discussion. Is it harder to win there? But I don't if you're undefeated there, it's still harder on your program, and you still lose money in an era where you're trying to make more money, and you're asking people for more money, and you're asking the foundation, and you're asking for NIL, and you're asking for everything. But we're going to somehow justify like playing off campus, having a harder schedule, and losing money is good for the program.
To use an Arkansas term, we've bled this turnip about as much as we can. Arkansas has gotten a lot out of playing games in Little Rock over the years.
They lasted longer than anybody else that ever did it.
Fair enough. And I'm in full agreement with that. My point is that the usefulness, one could argue, is past, and I'd be hard-pressed to disagree with that argument.
377-6963. Do you know what a lipstick camera is? That was something we learned on the show today. Chuck was right about that. I'd never heard of it. I am in the industry.
Please
I
say
know
that
more
again.
probably about cameras than you
Please
do.
say that again. Chuck was right.
I'll just send it. I'll put it in your DMs.
Please do.
I'll put it in your DMs.
And then put comma as usual. Would you mind?
Yeah. That's a drop right there. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo. That's right. It gets boring being right. I think that's what you said. It's boring. So today's National Just Because Day. How are you going to spend it? So let me just give you the definition.
Just because.
That's fantastic. We'll be right back on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
It's kickoff in Arkansas and the 76th anniversary of Razorback football inside historic War Memorial Stadium. Begin the holiday weekend right with tailgating, the Hog Walk, the UA and UAPB marching bands, and Razorback football's 2024 opener. Call the Hogs on Thursday night, August the 29th, in a historic in-state matchup with the UAPB Golden Lions. Kickoff set for 6:30. Get your tickets at ArkansasRazorbacks.com, and we'll see you on Thursday, August 29th, 6:30 in Little Rock.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. Here is Chuck and Bo.
Big week for college football. Big week for high school football. Hogs playing Little Rock, 6:30 against UAPB Thursday night. Chuck's going to call the game on the radio. You can also watch it on ESPN. You got some big college football games we'll get into as the week progresses as well. You know, athletes like to say, hey, you look good, you feel good, you play good. That could certainly also apply to everyday life. My friend, Dr. Jeff Swetnam, he's been a doctor for a long time, believes every guy deserves wellness and vitality. You can get a free evaluation on whether that's something that you can use and benefit from. And I'd say, you know, you get to be Chuck's age for sure, but even in my age, you're always right, but you might not always feel good, Chuck.
Yeah, well, you know.
You got to feel good. You want to feel good. You don't have to be tired.
I do want to feel good.
And just like sort of dragging around.
I'll tell you how you're not tired. Don't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You know?
And now you're late. You're a little close to home there now, pal.
SwetnamCosmetic.com. Get a free evaluation. You can call them at 479-966-4174. SwetnamCosmetic.com.
877-377-6963. Philip is on the line in Bentonville. Philip, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, listen, here's something that could pacify everybody in this state. And you look at Oklahoma, over in Oklahoma, and they do this. I don't know if it's every year, every other year, OU and OSU goes to Tulsa. Now, what they do is like, it's not a return game. It is they go to the stadium that TU plays at. You're pacifying the OU fans on that side of the state. You're pacifying the OSU fans, but it's considered a away game. And then they play that. Everybody, you know, it's going to be a blowout. But what it does is makes money for TU. It considers them as a home game. It makes the money they're going to get the home money because you're going to get all the fans that are OU and OSU fans on that side of the state, and it doesn't count as a home game. You know, you could do that. Arkansas could go to UCA. Arkansas could, and I know this brings up another thing, but you could go to Jonesboro and you could play those. What you're doing is you're pacifying the central, and then the eastern part of the state.
Wait,
you're pacifying.
why are we pacifying people?
Well, what I'm saying is you got these people that are bitching.
No, but what I'm saying is what it doesn't matter. Like, what's good for the program? Like as a fan, we can say whatever, we can gripe, we can cry, we can cheer, we can yell at people, but like at the end of the day, what's best for the do you want the AD and the coach to make decisions best for the team or not?
Well,
no, just answer that. Do you want that as a fan? There's no but. What do you mean?
You're taking care of those boosters on that side of the state.
But what I'm saying is, if that's our problem, we're fighting ourselves. We're fighting ourselves if you got to pacify your own fans to make bad decisions for your program.
You've got a major.
How is that a bad decision when you're helping the other colleges on that side of the state?
Because it doesn't help you. Because it doesn't help you. So as a fan, you would rather the University of Arkansas help other programs than win games.
They're going to win that game. That's going to be a pacified game. That's what I'm getting at. You're helping.
I'm not talking about that game. I'm talking about overall as a program. Go ahead, Chuck.
I'm first off, I'm not sure Oklahoma actually or OSU plays every year in Tulsa. They have played some road games.
No, they don't. They do not.
Yeah,
they 1,000% do not. OU plays Texas every year in Dallas. That's a much different situation.
And I don't see any scenario by which Arkansas would ever play at UCA or Arkansas State or anywhere else. Now, if and just for the record, I don't think this is going to happen. But if you were to play Arkansas State every year, and if you were to play that game in Little Rock, then yes, technically you could be home, road, you could alternate that. But here's the thing about Arkansas going to a smaller place, and this is one of the things, honestly, that I never get about Power 5 schools going on the road. I mean, you got to get that gauge. You got to get that guarantee. I mean, you spend money traveling, you got to have some guarantee, and it's got to be a real guarantee. So, and I don't know what the arrangement is when Oklahoma and Oklahoma State go to TU. I'm sure there's some kind of arrangement made
I don't
there.
remember the last time that
But
happened.
I think it's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges. I do remember it happening, but it doesn't happen every year.
When was the last time it happened?
Well, just talking about here and now, Oklahoma State and Tulsa do play every year from here to 2031, and it is alternating home and away.
Okay.
That's unusual, though, I would say.
No, I thought the question was, it's OU play Oklahoma State and Tulsa.
No.
No,
Okay.
he was saying that those two schools went and played
No,
TU.
no.
They went and played TU.
Oak State and Tulsa play, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now Oklahoma, I couldn't tell you the last time.
They were at TU 5-7 years ago. I remember Oklahoma.
And there's not one of those games on the schedule.
Okay, I see. He was making the point about Arkansas.
Arkansas does go to Tulsa in a couple years.
Yeah.
Right, but again, that's a totally different setup than I think what we have here. But I would say pacifying fans is something that fans need to realize can cost you as a program.
I agree.
And that's the point. So people keep justifying when they want to talk about playing a game in Little Rock or somewhere else, they keep justifying, why it's not that bad, but it's still bad. It's not helping you as a program. And that's the point.
Well, when you only put 35, 40,000 people in the stadium, I would question how many people are out there to be pacified. Art and Rogers just texted in, does the NCAA consider Little Rock an away game? No, they do not consider it an away game. Now,
it's a home game.
In basketball, for example, it's counted as a home game. And I know Muss, for one, wanted it counted as a neutral site game. And it didn't work out that way. So, yes, it is a it is a home game.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the NCAA classifies it as, because you get to choose your home situation.
You're right.
In your home situation, it should be most advantageous to you.
I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Bart was talking about the Trendon Holiday return a little bit earlier. 2008 was really the last time that I believe the stadium was full. I know it was full for 06. I think it was full for 08. They played Georgia there in, 14? And nothing. It wasn't full then.
We really haven't gotten into this. It would have been a good time. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow, including Bobby Patrino impact on this team, because there are some stats that leave it kind of up in the air of how big of an impact will he have. But how about Cal and the moves he keeps making as the basketball coach, and them playing Baylor during the off week for football in Dallas?
Yeah,
that'll be big time. Chuck and Bo Show is brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Pascal Air Plumbing Electric, First Security Bank, and the Fayetteville Auto Park. Tuesday's been fun.
Tuesday's been good. Wednesday will be even better.
What's today?
Tuesday.
Do whatever you want day?
Yeah. Just because.
Just because day.
Just because.
Have a great Just Because Tuesday. Hey, thanks for the spirited conversation. It's not personal. Just talking topics. Just talking issues. The Chuck and Bo Show. Have a great day. Morning Rush coming up next.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original